Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th standard chemistry and physics. Unit 9, electrical current, series number 11 is going to be discussed. Earlier, we completed what is electricity, electrical current, what are the devices used to measure electrical current and even potential difference, electromotive force, Ohm's law, and different activities have been completed. Now we entered into series 11, where how the resistance and the conductivity of the cell related with the cross-sectional area. So we are going to discuss in detail about these topics in today's session. In addition to all this, we earlier completed detailed explanation available for unit number 1 to 8. So all these available on the channel called the World of Competitive Chemistry. Now we entered into series 11. Let us discuss about these topics in detail. So activity 5 is going to be performed now, and nature of the material and resistance in this category, cross-sectional area, how it will influence that resistance of the given material, right? So this is performed under the activity number 5. In order to get this, does thickness of the conductor influence the resistance? Let us find out how it will be influence or how it will be related with the resistance of the material. We are taking various series of iron rods, collect iron rods of equal length. We are not supposed to change the length of the material. Rather, here very thin and somewhat thick and more thickest. So highest thickness containing material. In this way, we are gradually increasing the thickness. Consequently, cross-sectional area of the material will be raised in this manner. And each and every time we are going to prepare a circuit, just like in the earlier session, how we performed in the earlier session in the similar manner. Here also, individual iron rods of different thickness are going to be connected in this circuit, and these are going to make the conducting material in this circuit as shown in the figure number 14. This circuit is prepared by the various thickness containing iron rods, but the length should not be varied. We are not supposed to change the length, that should be fixed. Only variation in the cross-sectional area should be taken. Now, connect one of the rod between the P and Q junction and note the values of current using ammeter. The strength of current will be measured by using the electrical device called the ammeter. Now, it will be connected in the circuit and note down the values in this. Repeat this experiment by changing various iron rods in this manner. For example, initially we are taking very thin one and whose current strength is measured with the ammeter. Later, it will be replaced with second, third, fourth, fifth, respectively. And each and every time you are going to measure the current strength I value. Note the corresponding values and the values of the current and each case, and all can be tabulated in your notebook. You will notice current flowing through the rod increases with the increasing cross-sectional area. That means very thin wire having lesser extent of the conductance, and as the thickness increases, their corresponding conductance is also raised. What does it mean? Here, the strength of the current is directly proportional to its cross-sectional region. As the thickness increases, more number of metal ions, more number of metals are prone to pass the current. That's the reason why strength of current also rises. Cross-sectional area is directly proportional with the strength of the current. So here it is clearly depicted. Cross-sectional area of the circle. So cross-section is nothing but hypothetical line which used to bisect the molecule into this two halves. That is called a cross-sectional region, which clearly depicts the thickness of the medium, right? So as the cross-sectional area of the conducting material rises, its a corresponding electrical current also increased in the similar manner. Both are in the proportionality. As cross-sectional area rises, electrical current value also rises. So that is given by this changing the thickness, which ultimately called the cross-sectional area. Now, hence the resistance of rod decreases with increasing the cross-sectional area of the rod. So already we know current and the resistance are reciprocal to each other. That's the reason why as the cross-sectional area rises, resistance of the material will be lowered in the opposite manner. So here, that's the reason why resistance of the rod decreases as we are increasing the cross-sectional area. This Cross-sectional area when rises, electrical resistance is exponentially lowering, right? So both are reciprocal to each other. So once we got the relation between the current and the cross-section, that can be inversed so that we will get a reverse manner. Now, from this activity, we conclude that the resistance of the conductor inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. Conductance is directly proportional, whereas resistance will be a inverse proportionality with the cross-sectional region. That is clearly depicted as R denotes what? Resistance proportional to 1 by A. Here, A is nothing but what? Cross-sectional area. So here both are not in the same. So one is a numerator value and either is a denominator value. This indicates what? Both are inverse proportional to each other. So this can be implied when we are taking the precautions like a constant temperature maintained and the length of the conductor will not be varied. So these variables can be taken as a constant terms. Then only here R is proportional to 1 by A holds good. Right. So temperature and the length of the conducting material should kept constant. Then only R proportional to 1 by A remains that will be applicable. Right. So from these equations, we get R is proportional to 1 by A that can be employed at constant temperature conditions. Now, when we come, because already we know resistance directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. So in order to remove the proportionality, here we got the proportionality constant that is denoted as the rho. Rho is the proportionality constant and it is called a specific resistance. Anywhere in the mathematics, what you can imply? So here proportionality always removed with the one of the constant. That's the reason why R is equal to rho into L by A can be taken down, right? So L by A, L is nothing but length and A denotes what? Area of cross section. And rho denotes a specific resistance of the material. So that is shown in this figure. And that can be applicable to this one. Potential difference that is denoted with V and a clear picture of this equation where as the length increases, resistance of the material also increases. As the cross-sectional area increases, resistance decreases. And both are used to generate the potential difference called the EMF of the cell. That is depicted in this image number 15. Now, nature of the material and resistance in this category, cross-sectional area and resistance terms are considered. Now we are going to summarize each and every factor, how they are going to show the influence on this resistance. Specific resistance mainly depends upon temperature and nature of the material. So here temperature and nature of the materials are the important factors which show the implication on this specific resistance. Whereas normal resistance are that resistance R of the conductor purely depends upon nature of the material that is similar to above and the temperature that also similar to above. But in addition to these two, some other factors also shows their impact. What are those? Geometrical factors like a length and area of cross section are the additional factors which can show the impact on this resistance. But specific resistance only varied by changing the variables like temperature and nature of the material. Various materials have various specific resistance value and the temperature also varies, specific resistance value also varies. But resistance, in addition to these two, we have some other factors like a geometrical, like length and area of cross section taken into the consideration. Right. So all are mentioned here. This is called a temperature and the nature of material. In addition to nature of material and temperature, two other factors like cross-sectional region and the length of the material also matters for this resistance of the material. Now, let us see what are the units for this resistivity. Resistivity is ohm meter. So within the 1 meter length of the material, how extent of resistance is there, that is denoted as the resistivity of the material. Reciprocal of the resistivity is called conductivity. Conductivity is measured in sigma, right? Electrical resistivity always having the reciprocal relation. So to this electrical conductivity, resistivity is the opposing power to flow the current. Conductivity is the supporting force operating to flow the current. So both are inverse proportional to each other, right? So here it is conductivity is given with the symbol called as sigma, and resistivity measured in ohm meter. Values of resistivity of material depends upon their conductivity. So here, as the conductivity rises, corresponding resistivity of the material will be lowered. When we compare metals with non-metallic substances, how the variation with resistivity and conductivity is possible, let us see. Metals with a low resistivity, obviously metals having more prone to release the electron. That's the reason why resistivity of these materials are extremely less and behaves a good conducting material. Or always any metal you can take into the consideration, always they are having provision to move the current. All metals are good conductors of electricity. Metals such as copper are therefore used in making electrical wires. So in general, metal having highest conductivity, just descend to silver. That's the reason why it is the most commonly employed, because of two factors. One is abundancy, second is affordability. Because of these two factors, copper metal taken as an electrical conducting material. The filament of an electrical bulb is usually made up of tungsten because of its higher resistivity. Anywhere you can check the bulb filament. That bulb filament is made up of, always that filament is made up of tungsten metal, because higher resistivity is offered by, even though it is a metallic substances which used to offer the resistivity. Lower the conductivity, obviously higher the resistivity will be given. And moreover, tungsten is the metal which having highest melting point in entire periodic table. Tungsten is the metal which possesses highest melting point in the entire periodic table, that is 3422 degrees centigrade. This extent of heating is required in order to melt the tungsten. It is the highest value of known metals in the periodic table. That's the reason why even by high voltage it will not be melted, it will not cause any short circuit. And in order to avoid the mixing of two conducting materials, it should be used to make the insulation, that is because of its resistivity. That's the reason why always bulb filament is made up of this tungsten metal. Now the value of resistivity of insulators are very high, because resistivity is nothing but opposing power, and insulator also having obstacle in order to pass the current. That's the reason why insulator with high resistivity, and the value always ranges in between 10 to the power 14 to 10 to the power 16 ohm meter, right? So 10 to the power 14, 10 to the power 16 ohm meter resistivity is offered for the insulating materials. Here few of the examples regarding insulating materials are provided to you. Any plastic, wood and rubber, even glass, all these materials are the simplest example for insulating materials where passage of current is not at all possible. And these are some other materials which employed in electrical transformers and also current passage stations, grid supply, electricity stations. We can apply these insulating materials. Now we can measure the resistivity of the material, and correspondingly by taking the vision of this resistivity, we can compare their conductivity as well, because lower the resistivity, higher will be the conductivity of the material. So all the resistivity values of material, because already we know there is no device to monitor direct conductivity of a material. Always it can be calculated by taking the consideration of resistivity. If you measure the resistance, then you can convert the resistance into conductance. That's the reason why here the tabular form of resistivity was taken into the consideration. All the material resistivity values got tabulated here. We are going to consider lower the resistivity, higher the conductivity, right? All are measured at the constant temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. Obviously it will be room temperature conditions. And resistivity measured in rho. Rho denotes what? It will be the specific resistivity. And ohm meter are the units for the expression for this one. So already we know in the entire periodic table, highest conductivity offered for silver metal, and whose resistivity is extremely less. That's 1.59 in 10 to the power minus 8. So this will be the value for silver. Very next to the silver, we have copper. Just now we discussed, because of two factors, copper is the most often metal for the conducting material, because of abundancy and affordability. These two are the important factor to choose copper as the commonly available conducting material, whose resistivity will be again very next to silver, that is 1.68 into 10 to the power minus 8. Almost similar. That's why copper also more efficient conductor. And the next is given to gold, followed by aluminum, calcium, tungsten, zinc. So here the values are arranged in the ascending order, where resistivity gradually increases. As resistivity increases, their conductance will be lowered, because resistivity reciprocal of conductance value. So nickel with the highest resistivity and obviously lowest conductivity will be there. And when you go with iron, its conductivity values are provided here 1.00 into 10 to the power minus 7. Minus 7 value is there. That's why it will be more compared to this one. And lead followed by nichrome. Here see, you can clearly observe nichrome and one more material is there called manganese. These two are denoted as alloy forms. When these alloy forms are taken, their resistance is extremely large, 30 to 100 times more when compared to the normal metals. Even though these are made up of purely metals only. Alloy is nothing but mixture of metals, right? We are taking pure metals only. Nickel is a good conductor, chromium is a good conductor, even iron is the good conductor of good conductor of electricity. But when we are combining these metals in such a manner, in a proper composition, what happens? There is, interestingly, their resistance will be raised 100 times. So even though individual metals are good conductors, by combining these metals into alloy form, their conductivity values get shifted to a greater deviation. So that's the reason why they have a distinct applications we will discuss in detail after the completion of this table, right? So nichrome will be there and carbon. As already we know, graphite is the one and only one non-metal which afford the conductivity in the entire periodic table. Non-metal, no conductor, but exceptionally carbon with a graphite. Even carbon having so many allotropic form, but only graphite allotropic form of carbon is offering conductivity of the current because of sp2 hybridization and one free electron available for the conduction of current, right? So here, under germanium, as already we know, germanium is a semiconductor. Partial conduction is possible because of high resistivity, 4.6 resistance is offered for this material because it is a metalloid. Metalloid means partial metallic properties, partial non-metallic properties embedded into this. And the drinking water. When we go with the drinking water is added with some suitable requisite minerals. That's the reason why its conductance will be there. When you go with a pure ionized water, whose conductivity will be extremely low. There is a distinction between the normal drinking water and deionized water. Drinking water will be a water sample with the requisite mineral addition. That's the reason why whose conductance will be higher. So here resistivity value will be lower, 2 into 10 to the power minus 1. That's why it will be a good conductor only. Now go to silicon. So silicon, as already we know, it is also semiconducting material. That's the reason why here resistivity extremely large. So by the addition of some other materials, its conductance will be exponentially raised. So initially, in the normal situation, whose resistance high, correspondingly conductance will be low. When wood was taken, what could be the condition? Wood resistivity will be extremely large. And glass was taken. Glass resistivity also extremely large, 10.0 into 10 to the power 10 value was taken here. Rubber. So you clearly consider these last segment materials are purely insulators because of high resistivity. All these values are given in the positive powers. So positive powers are nothing but these are higher numeral values, so that their resistivity will be extremely large and the conductance will be almost negligible. No conductance with wood, glass, rubber, and air. Air is also better insulating material, right? So these are the comparison between material to material, how resistivity will be varied. Now, application oriented type of concept is going to be discussed. Alloy of nichrome and manganese. So these two are said to be alloy forms. Nichrome is the alloy of three metals. One is nickel, second is chromium. Nichrome, here only name is mentioned. Ni denotes what? Nickel. CHRO, Cro denotes chromium. Me. So this is a magnetic one called the iron. So within the name itself, it implies it is the of chromium and iron. Then manganese. Manganese in the sense here it is the alloy form of manganese, and the copper is the highest proportion compound in this. Here we have a nickel also. Here nickel is also mentioned in this, right? So here manganese, copper, and nickel are the important components of manganese, where 86% prominent material will be copper itself. So mixture of these three is able to create the manganese alloy. And when such a kind of alloy forms are taken, exceptionally their resistance values are large. They are offering highest resistance, and when compared to the normal metals. That's the reason why they are having a specific kind of applications too. So when these kind of alloys were taken, one is nichrome and the second is called manganese. These are used on the heating panels of electrical iron box we are using for pressing, and a toaster, bread toaster is also available. In that also grills are made up of these alloy forms, right? So these are the applications of alloys because of their resistivity, because of their conducting nature. So such materials are made up of these alloy forms. Now, these alloys also have the advantage that their resistance varies very little with the temperature. As we are rising the temperature or lowering the temperature, their resistance are not much varied. So resistance remains constant even by changing the temperature conditions also. That's why you can say these alloys are more advantageous. That's why we are applying in toaster, bread toaster, and also in the electrical iron. In electrical iron, what we are doing within short span of time, we are rising the temperature and again we are lowering. Such optimization will be carried. With that temperature rise and lowering, it will not be affected. That's why these electronic devices are working for longer time. Now we are introducing in the term called semiconducting materials. The resistivity of materials to 10 to the power 10. This is not very high, just like normal insulators. Not a region where resistivity will be in between of conducting material and even insulating materials as well. So when silicon and germanium was taken, these two are regarded as metalloid substances whose resistivity will be more than 10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power 10 times compared to metals. So when resistance is more than metals, what happens? They are offering less conductance when compared to metals. Metals are extremely good conductors, but silicon, germanium, partial conduction will be there because of their high resistance in this manner. Now, there is a bridging nature we are going to discuss. But 10 to the power 15 to 10 to the power 16 times lesser than that of insulating materials. Insulators are extremely large resistivity materials in the entire periodic table. That's the reason why insulators, when compared to 10 to the power 15, 10 to the power 16 times lower value is offered for these semiconducting materials. Okay, so when compared to metals whose resistance is higher, when compared to insulators whose resistance will be lower. That's the reason why they are metalloids in nature. They are partial conductors in nature and denoted as semiconducting materials. A new term introduced here called a semiconductor, which are transiting in between insulators to metals. Semiconductors are very highly widely used kind of materials, and these are the few applications of semiconducting materials. These semiconducting materials are used to prepare diode systems. These diodes are very essential in the electrical circuits. And next is about integrated circuits. These integrated circuits are very essential in the electronic devices like smartphones, laptops, desktops, all these are assembled with these integrated circuits. These are the essential devices. And these integrated circuits are very essential sort of materials in electronic devices. You may take televisions, computer screens, mobile phones, smart gadgets, whatever we are taking, all are embedded with these integrating circuit materials. These are the applications of semiconductors, which are having in between properties when compared to insulators and conducting material. By this, we completed the session. Activity number 5, detailed explanation is provided to you. Hope this session will helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you one and all.